Probably because it's late. If you're new on here, it's just our topic is talking about creating your own reality. Deprogramming the mind. Non-reaction. Practicing calmness. As Nathan would say, mindset and manifestation. Hi, Christine. How are you? It's funny, Christine, when I first pop on here, it's like it's over flooded with people like on the live. And then all of a sudden, like they all leave. They're like, okay, this isn't interesting. Hi, Rob from Texas. I'm good. Hi, BB. How are you? It's kind of late for me. I was actually debating I'm like, should I jump on tonight? Should I not? I was just gonna like not jump on because it was getting late because I had like kind of like a busy day. But I'm like, you know what? I'm having my tea anyway, so. Exactly, Christine. That's what I always say, like it's one of those things, like you either get it or you don't, right? You're either ready for it or not. I was just thinking that today, Christine. I was just saying how like, not everybody's going to understand you. And that's my biggest thing. It's okay that people don't understand you. And I said, like 4 years ago, I wouldn't understand me today, right? I would be like, who is this girl? What is she talking about? So when people tell me like I'm doing this wrong or that doesn't make sense, and then it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like I do not take it personally at all. Ever. Someone commented on my video today about the infinite one. There's infinite, infinite, infinite. And I always say it like that just because that's me. That's how that's just the way I express it, like the way I talk. And they're like, do you even know what infinite means? And then he said, or was that just for, I don't know what he said, entertainment or something like that. And I'm like, it's just the way I explain it, to people that are new to this. And he's like, oh, I didn't mean any offense by it. And I'm like, absolutely none taking. Like, I never get offended over that because I don't care if people don't get me, I'm good, Cabby. How are you? Lancaster hometown? Oh, thank you. Yeah, but then it's like, they're like, oh, okay, she doesn't care. So if you don't care, then they don't bother you. That's what I always say. Like, you seen it, Christine? Yeah. Like, I know not everybody's different. Everybody, like, I don't know. It's hard. That stuff doesn't bother me. It never did bother me. I think it comes down to like, as long as you understand you, right? That's all that matters. And that's where I always talk about when people say, what do I do about negative this or negative that? And I'm like, you have to stay true to yourself. You have to not take it personally or else you keep repeating cycles. And that's another thing with reprogramming the mind. If you're not practicing non-reaction, you're going to keep repeating things you don't want in your life. So that's why I don't really like reprogramming the mind, because to me, it's limiting on how to manifest things, because you should never be manifesting anything at all. Because when you know everything's done, you don't have to manifest, right? And it still keeps you on a hamster wheel when you're reprogramming the subconscious mind. You really want to deprogram the subconscious mind, because when you understand that everything's already done, everything has already been played out. All your experiences, anything you want, your best life, your manifestations, specific or not, they literally have already been played out. They're already created. The story's already been told. You only have to release resistance. You only have to deprogram your mind. You only have to release the unfavorable thoughts around those things, right? That's all you have to do. So when you practice non-reaction, you start to feel good, and that's what attracts everything to you automatically. It's literally automatic. It just starts happening for you. But it takes practice, obviously. It does take practice. That's what I always tell people, that, like, of course, I get so many more people that tell me how much practicing non-reaction has changed their lives compared to the few that say, this doesn't work, this isn't working. And, I'm always trying to tell people, listen, it takes practice to practice non-reaction, because we're so reactive as humans. We're so reactive. It's part of our programming, and that's why we're deprogramming it. I just jumped on, Sensei. How are you? I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I just started. Can you explain how to fix your shadow? Like shadow work? So you're only practicing, Sonia, you're only practicing non-reaction. You're not like fixing anything. So I call it more so I call it deprogramming the mind. And by releasing all the things that don't serve you, that you picked up from your programming and your environment and all those things. Anything, and I always try to say, Sonia, you want to make it more about feeling more so than thoughts. You don't want to try to change your thoughts. You'll be doing that for the rest of your life. It's you still trying to control something. And again, it's very limiting on the way to move forward. You want to make it more about feeling, okay? And you don't even have to really focus too much on feeling good, because that's the byproduct of practicing non-reaction. When you're practicing non-reaction, the byproduct is you start to feel good. And feeling good, your true nature. So when you're just feeling good, you're not going to be thinking or worrying. You're just going to be flowing through life. So it's more so simply about making it about practicing non-reaction, remaining calm when you don't feel good. You only have to know that when you don't feel good, it's always something that doesn't serve you. So in those moments, you just want to remain calm, slow your breathing down, move slower, silence your thoughts as much as possible. And again, I always recommend starting a meditation practice, doing some breath work. These little practices are the only thing you need to do in order to move towards your manifestations and your best life. Like, this is all you have to do. It's so simple. Just takes a little bit of practice. It's practice, but it's also time and patience, because there's a lot of unfavorable stories that we've created from our past, that we can't even blame ourselves because we didn't even know. Okay. So it's time and patience, because there's just things that kind of keep coming up and you're like, what the heck? But you just keep practicing non-reaction, staying calm, and they literally will fade out of your life, which allows for all the things that are, that you are meant for you. I say meant for you, just to keep it simple. What would you say about listening to affirmation? So Sensei, I personally would say to listen to more maybe general ones, like things like everything's always working out for me. I am exactly where I need to be. I manifest for my highest good and the highest good of others. Maybe you can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Don't listen to me. Trust yourself. But I personally don't like doing anything in regards to a manifestation, because that's more of telling your mind that you don't already believe it's done, because it's already done. There's nothing you need to do for a manifestation, okay? So more so, if you're going to do any affirmations, keep them very general, like everything's always working out for me. And, my most recent one is, I don't have to figure anything out. You literally don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to figure out nothing at all, ever. Anytime you're dropping in a lower energy, and the reason why we drop is because we are trying to figure things out. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. And when you drop all those limiting things, you just release resistance. You start to feel better. And things start to happen in your life. They do. They start to get better. Yeah. Yes. And when you're remaining calm, you're also moving through these lower energies with grace and kindness for yourself. And I always say calmness and kindness. And I like to throw kindness in there, because sometimes we forget, when we're remaining calm, and then someone confronts us, we're like, oh, leave me alone. We get mad at them, and that's us reacting still. So or you're lashing out at someone, even in your family or an animal or something. So calmness and kindness, like in those moments, and just that's when when you're in that kind state to yourself. And another thing is knowing that, like, if you feel like somebody's coming at you, people always say, well, shouldn't I be speaking up for myself? No, because that's reacting. If you feel the need to say anything, you want to make sure in a very high energy, a high loving energy. And you just want to say something very gently, softly, as in, I'm sorry, I just don't agree with you. And then leave it at that. And then you walk away from it. If that makes you feel better, if that releases resistance, that's okay. But you always want to make sure you're coming from a high energy. Yes, you can just remain calm and it will dissolve on its own. But sometimes it serves us to say something and it helps us release resistance in that moment. Hi, Mara. How are you? Oh, yes, Mara. I know. I know I say this all the time. It took me all day to upload that live. I have a couple more that I have to upload, and I really want to. I feel like they, of course, like they're all different, but even as I'm growing and expanding and learning more, I feel like they get better, and the more I speak about it, I get better at speaking about it. So I do want to try to keep up with putting them on my YouTube. How do you know if you're putting your manifestation on the pedestal? If you're manifesting it, Anna, are you manifesting something? You don't have to manifest anything. So you just, if you're putting something on a pedestal is if you're trying to manifest it, if you're trying to do something to get it. You don't have to do anything, right? So just always know that. It's already done. Everything's already done. Like I said, what you're doing is you're focusing on yourself. And how you focus on yourself is you practice non-reaction. You practice releasing resistance in your everyday life, right? You focus on yourself. You focus on feeling good without these things while you're releasing resistance around them, basically. Does that make sense? Hi, Lacey. How are you? So if we think about it a lot. No. If you think about it a lot, Anna, that's fine. You can think about it as much as you want. It's not about thinking about it. It's about how are you feeling when you're thinking about it, Anna? Are you sad? Are you feeling like loss? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling in doubt? If you're feeling in a lower energy about it, that's resistance. But if you're thinking about it and you're excited and you're happy and you're just like excited, that's perfectly fine. Of course that's perfectly fine, because it's all about how you feel. When you're feeling good, you're great. You're lined up with it. But this is why I talk so much about making it about how you feel, because you'll know if you can, like, this is why I say don't go too specific about a manifestation. I would say not to ever go specific at all, because you don't have to. And it's you kind of interfering with the unfolding, and it also causes resistance. So keep things very general. How will you, and here I go screaming, but I don't feel like it's in my throat as much. How will you say I can manifest a baby in a full-term pregnancy? I know I have asked, but I wanted you to understand better, please. How will you say? So I'm trying to think back more. I'm trying to compare it to my journey of that, experience in my life. And so you really, just like anything, Mara, you have to know that reality exists for you, and it's done. In this very moment, it's done, right? And the more that you can not think about it as much, right? Think about maybe the future and being a mother and what you're going to do as a mother, and think about how that feels for you. Think about those types of things when you're going to think about it, right? Because that's natural to think about those things. It's natural to be excited about being a mom and having kids and thinking of the things you're going to do with them. Think more so about that, not about how it's going to happen before, right? Because that's probably going to cause you resistance still. So I would think more into the future when it comes to that, because that's very natural to think about that. But again, Mara, always make it about how you're feeling when you are thinking about anything. Because when you're not feeling good, you want to stay calm in those moments, because that's resistance, and let that pass. So I would say, Blueberry, when it comes to stress, without a doubt, I would say start a meditation practice. start a meditation practice, but also the same thing, practicing non-reaction will help you release stress. But meditation, when I started meditating, everything got like, I started like being able to focus so much better. I was able to like, my mind was so much clearer. So I would say start a meditation practice. Also, start like give yourself more time throughout the day, move slower, breathe slower. That releases stress as well. You can even do a little bit of breath work, maybe just focus on your breathing throughout the day. Those types of things are going to help release stress. They help with anxiety. They help with any of that kind of stuff. And it just keeps getting better. When I tell you guys, like, I rarely get anxiety, and I'm the type of person that would always get anxiety, and I would be thinking people were looking at me all the time, and I was just always like, I was always like leaving my body, thinking people were, judging me, blah, blah, blah. And I don't ever do that anymore at all, not whatsoever. Hi, Roll, how are you? Oh, good, Mar. I'm so glad. Yeah, so so definitely, think more of the future and what excites you about it, right? That kind of stuff. And again, just always be aware of how you're feeling, right? Exactly. Heather said it. And Blueberry, check out a lot of my videos on meditation and anxiety. I'm not meditation and anxiety, meditation and breath work. I have so many videos on there, like you can scroll down that playlist and they're pretty helpful. Hi, Patrick. How are you? Nice to see you too, Raw. Cece, it just means that every moment's a fresh start. It means you can't mess anything up. That should just make you feel better alone, just to know that like there's no messing anything up at all. You just keep continuing, you just keep practicing non-reaction and remaining calm and, doing that throughout your day, staying calm, doing breath work if you need to, but just know you can't mess anything up. So it's almost like a lot of times that causes anxiety alone, just thinking I messed it up, I messed this up, you can't mess anything up. You're always moving forward. Look at it as every moment is a fresh start. Look at it as, because there only is the now moment. There only is right now. So everything that I talk about is helping people be in the present moment. That's all it is. Everything I say is about being in the present moment. And it's, oh, hi, Heba. How do you remain calm and not lose patience? Well, that's resistance. That's unfavorable, right? By constantly practicing non-reaction and remaining calm, Hebe, and just knowing that it's done and not trying to be in your mind so much, Hebe. Not you're probably trying. I learned like we're always trying to figure it out. We're always figuring out how's it going to come in, and we're always trying to figure out, why is this happening right now? Why isn't this happening right now? So getting out of your mind, you're in your mind too much. It's all resistance, Heba. That's all it is. It's all unfavorable thoughts. The comment alone is resistance, right? So, do as much as you can to quiet your world for a while. Just quiet your world. Do some meditations. Just stop watching too many things that are probably causing more resistance in your reality, Heba. I would definitely recommend, Heba, listening to all the videos that I've been posting recently about releasing resistance in my playlist. And like knowing everything, know this, Heba, knowing that everything's working out for you, no matter how it looks or seems, okay? That's something that we don't realize until we stop trying to figure things out. So stop being in your head so much. When you stop trying to figure things out so much, you realize that literally everything is working in your favor, no matter how it looks, no matter how it seems, to keep you moving forward to what you want. But definitely, it's just resistance. It's all resistance. The thing about it is that not only is there it takes practice to not react to things, right? And we think that these things are still coming up, but they're not, because it's like people say, someone just said on here today, it is a shadow, right? They're all dead. They have no power, but when we react to them, we give them power. We give them light. We give them life. So it takes practice to not give them the life that they're seeking, right? So we keep reacting to it. Even if it's just a little bit, they keep kind of coming back up, right? In time, they fade when you practice this. But in the meantime, your manifestations take time to show up too, right? So this is why the only thing you need to do is the one thing in the middle that closes the gap for all of these things is practice non-reaction. That's it. You just want to keep practicing non-reaction. When you don't feel good, stay calm, do some breath work, practice quieting your thoughts as much as possible. Just those practices are going to close that gap. No problem, Sonia. Is that how it is with anxiety? It keeps coming back if you react to it. Yeah, so like when you're having anxiety, yes, because that's you, that's a lower energy, right? So the more that you can stay calm in those moments, breathe slower in those moments, you can tell yourself things when it comes to anxiety, like, I'm safe, I'm okay, I'm always protected. And say like things like that softly. Everything's working out for me. I'm okay. Like, say things like that to yourself in that moment by also doing the practice of breathing slower, moving slower, even adding a little bit of breath work. I used to do breath work. I always tell people this. I used to do breath work actually at my job, and no one knew I was doing it. So you can do breath work very discreetly. It's extremely helpful though. Extremely helpful. Oh, no problem, Heba. Just know you're always making progress, and that's the one thing I just want to tell you guys. Like, I know non-reaction. I've been doing it for like 2 years straight, and probably more crazy in the past like year or so, maybe even less than that. And it works. It just takes time because there's a lot of stuff that we created unconsciously that doesn't serve us, and we're so reactive. This is not you just manifesting something. This is you moving towards your best life, guys. This isn't just you manifesting. This isn't the hamster wheel where you're just like, I want to manifest this. Let me affirm and get it. No, that's the hamster wheel. This is deprogramming all those things, all those programs that don't serve us anymore, right? So you can truly be your best self and your true authentic self, right? Which is to feel good and to live your best life while you're here, and to, experience life to the fullest. Tell us a little bit more about how you did breath work at work. Yeah, so I will say this. I did have a mask, so I probably cheated a little because I had a mask at the time, but you still can't tell. So I would do it through the nose, and doing it through the nose is actually way better, more beneficial, more powerful. But you can do it whatever. If you do it through the mouth, it doesn't mean you're not making progress. But I would do it through the nose. I take that deep breath in. Nobody knew I was doing it. And then I always held my breath, and then sometimes added stomach in and out. I didn't always do the stomach in and out at work, but sometimes I did. And then as you're holding your breath, stomach in and out, once you can't hold your breath anymore, you let it out nice and slow. So it's like, that's it. Breath work. And I would just do it over and over again. And sometimes, like, I would take a walk and do it somewhere away, like, so I could really just do the breath work. I would, take a break or whatever. Hi, Ava. How are you, Ava? Does that help you? Oh, hi, Vols. Exactly, Vols. Yes, we're always thinking of, the past and the future. And that's why I always say the biggest thing is you don't have to figure anything out. And check out my most recent videos on releasing resistance, because the most recent one, I think it's the most recent one that I said, I go over and over how you don't have to figure anything out, because that's you going into the past and into the future. Even right now, you don't have to figure anything out at all, ever. You never have to figure it out. Oh, thanks, James. Hi, Hi, Nurk. Now, every aspect of your life, Vicky. Every aspect of your life. Yes, 100%. Like I said, you're not manifesting anything because everything's already done. You're just practicing non-reaction because anything that's happening in your life that doesn't feel good doesn't serve you, okay? So when you practice non-reaction, you practice remaining calm, you practice slowing down the thoughts around that topic or whatever's coming up that doesn't serve you, it fades out of your life and it makes room for the things that actually do serve you. Yeah, no problem, Ava. So what I used to do when it comes to breath work is I would take a deep breath in through my nose, and I would hold it. I would hold it for as long as I could. And then I would add stomach in and out. And it's very easy. A lot of people are like, what do you mean stomach in and out? It's just in and out, literally. Like, just do it right now. In and out, in and out. Like, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Literally stomach in and out as I'm holding my breath. For as long as I can hold my breath, until I can't hold my breath anymore, then I let it out super slow. Like, I'm talking just the slowest I could let my breath out. Like it would take me forever to let the breath out. But that's what really releases that like stress and that anxiety and helps you feel better in those moments. Also know that when you're first practicing this, you are probably going to cry. That's releasing resistance as well. And you may scream a lot. You may just get frustrated. And it's okay to have those moments, but keep them to yourself. The biggest thing about non-reaction is not speaking about these things that don't serve you. Because if you're speaking about them to people and everyone around you, you keep reliving it basically, right? So non-reaction is staying silent, keeping all those things to yourself, keeping all those thoughts to yourself, right? Those moments to yourself. Oh yeah, that would help, Heather, yes, that would, definitely. So if you are like searching and looking for them all the time and looking and seeing what they're doing, I would definitely block them. But you're not blocking anyone and saying like, I don't want you in my life anymore. I'm blocking you, because remember, it's nobody doing anything to you. It's all unconscious creation. And if you do that because you're working on yourself, yes, definitely 100%. I always recommend that. I always recommend just, even if you're talking to them and it's just not working right now and you keep having resistance and it's just things just aren't going the way you want, I always say come from a higher energy. Just say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on myself for a while. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. If you want this stuff, you want these relationships to come in the best way, focus on you. Focus 100% on you. Focus on feeling good without it for a while, right? So you can bring it in the best way, so it can come in the best way possible. You don't want to settle for anything less than that. Oh, thank you. And I always say it is where you have to go with where you're at when it comes to resistance. This is why a lot of people ask me this. They ask me, should I do this or should I do that? And I always say, you have to see where you're at with resistance. People say like, I'm unhappy at my job. Should I leave my job? And I always say, is that going to cause you more resistance? If you leave your job, are you going to be like, oh my God, how am I going to afford things? So how much do you trust? How much do you trust that you're taken care of and provided for? That you'll be okay if you leave your job? Or do you maybe need to stay at your job for a while you practice non-reaction? Because if you leave your job, you're going to cause yourself more resistance. So it's you have to make it about how you feel, and you have to make it about resistance, because you could be causing yourself more resistance if you walk away from something, right? So always check in with how you're feeling with those kinds of questions. That's why I don't like to I'm not going to tell people what to do. I'm going to tell you, well, what do you think is best? Right? My best solution for world peace is to focus on yourself and becoming at peace with yourself and happy with yourself. And that will resonate out into the world and be an example to the world. And just know that reality exists, because every possible reality exists. So world peace exists, right? But we all need to do that work on ourselves to release all the unfavorable things and stay away from all the stuff that doesn't serve us in the outside world. Stay away from the news, stay away from drama, stay away from social media drama and all the stuff out there that just is super not healthy at all. Cut it all out of your life because you don't need it to live. You can live an amazing life while you're here right now. And also by not saying we need world peace, because that's saying that's lack, right? So you always want to be aware of how you're speaking about these things in our life, right? Because then we're so focused on the not, that there is no world peace, there is not this, there is not that. This is like we're focused on that side of it instead of the side of it that we want. That's why it's better to just put the focus on you and your life and you creating your reality to the best of your ability. And I will say, I learned a lot of this from Abraham Hicks. Just, I'm not going to take all the credit. I never want to take all the credit. A lot of the things that I learned were literally from Abraham Hicks and what she says. But it is true, right? And I've watched it in my life through my experience. Because I have never resonated with any of that stuff, the news or drama. I was never one to gossip or any of that kind of stuff. I just never resonated with any of that. So, like, just keep your life quiet as possible. Oh, thanks, Christine. Sometimes when I'm speaking about this stuff, I do feel like I'm jumbling up my words a little bit, right? Like finding the right way to say it. So I'm learning too, guys. Oh, thanks. Thank you, guys. It's so nice to hear that from you guys, that you are understanding how I'm saying it, because as I'm speaking, sometimes I'm wondering if I'm being clear or if I am jumbling things up, right? So it's taking me practice too to be able to say these things in the right way and using the right words. Hi, Ray. Oh, that's nice, Ray. My day was good as well. I had a really good day. I made a nice dinner today. Oh, thanks, Nurk. Oh, thanks, guys. I mean, this helps me too. I like speaking about this stuff. I really do. And I want to help as many people as I can help. I always say, like, pay it forward, because Abraham, like, listening to Abraham has helped me so much. Like, I mean, and I still listen to Abraham Hicks. Today, the one I was listening to, I didn't post it in our, also for anyone that's new, that's on here, we have a private Facebook group that's extremely helpful, extremely uplifting. And I want to post the video that I listened to all day today. I listen to my own videos too, by the way, like my stuff. Like, I practice what I preach, literally. But the one I listened to today was like 1 minute, and it was about being happy. And that's it. And I just kept listening to it all day, because it's literally that simple. Like, you just got to feel good. That's what's going to bring in everything. But again, it takes a little bit of practicing non-reaction to get to that place where you're consistently feeling good and understanding that, and then things start to actually really work in your favor, and all the things that are meant for you start to come in. Oh, I can honestly say, Mad Max, that I do give myself, I got my strawberry refresher today, which I do that almost every day. I actually spilled my drink. You guys know I love my strawberry refresher. I spilled it today. It was half full, and I don't know how, but it like slipped from my hands, and it spilled all over the floor, which reminded me I really want to clean out my whole entire fridge. I want to clean the whole entire thing out. And anyway, it spilled, and I'm like, oh my God, it was half a refresher. It was from yesterday, so it was kind of, but you know what I said automatically? I know I've changed my mindset. It's like, it's definitely positive. I think everything's working for me and in my favor at all times. I'm like, you know what? Now I have an excuse to go take a ride. And that's when I took a ride. I got my refresher and I made it. I answered a question because someone was having a hard time with this and not saying it's not working. And I'm like, I love making my videos in the car now. I don't know why. It's just like my new thing. I'm always changing things up too. It's kind of good to do that, guys. Like, always change up your surroundings and what you're doing, and don't get so much on such a routine, right? Because then it just becomes like boring again. So even just simple things like just changing up your routine. So that's another thing with me. Like, if you watch my videos, they always change. I change different places. I change where I'm at. I change where I'm making my videos. Thank you. It's literally the only jewelry I wear because I do not wear jewelry. I always say I'm going to start wearing jewelry. Like, I'm going to wear bracelets. I like rings, but I don't have any. I have one ring. I'm so basic. I don't know what you mean by that, Mick. I think for myself, is that okay? I got blocked. I'm confused by that. Yeah, and I watched how, like, I was always calm, I'm not gonna lie, like with my kids, if they spilled anything, or I always like had that in my mind, like no use crying over spilled milk. I was always patient with my kids. But as I spilled it, like, I would get more mad at myself if I did stuff like that. Then I would never ever get mad at my kids for spilling something or dropping something. But I would get mad at myself for doing that, and I did not even care. I laughed at it, I cleaned it, and I was like, oh, now I can like mop my floor a little bit. And it's just, you're so aware of how much you changed. Like, that's pretty, like, that's what amazes me, is how much you see when things happen like that, how much you've actually changed. Or if somebody like beeps their horn at me and I just laugh it off and I just don't get upset anymore and I just keep driving, where the old me would want to get out of the car. I'd want to get out of the car and I'd want to say, why are you in so much like of a rush? I wouldn't even be mean to them. I would probably be sarcastic, but I'd be like, but now I don't even care. Like, nothing bothers me anymore. I'm so unbothered. Aw, thanks, Abe. Aw, you guys are so sweet. I mean, so like, as in, I'm not like, I don't know. I guess simple, more so simple. You came here for one TikTok and my chat got blocked. You came here for one, I don't know what you mean, Mick. I'm confused. If you did, it was like, are you saying on here? If so, it was an accident. If you're saying something on here did. I'm so confused by that. I'm sorry, Mick. Do affirmations really work? I'm only discovering. Okay, so when it comes to affirmations, McGuire, they cause a lot of resistance. So make it more about how you feel. If you're saying, because the thing about manifesting is that it's understanding it. It's understanding that and knowing that every possible reality exists right now in this very moment. So as soon as you want to experience something, you just have to just know that it's done. So there's nothing you really have to do. So if you're doing it in regards to a manifestation, I would say stop, because you're actually causing yourself more resistance, right? Because you need to convince yourself that it's real. You have to convince yourself into that by saying it over and over and over again. And there's a lot of resistance in that, and you don't have to do it that way. So when you realize that it's done, as soon as you want to experience something, it's done. Be more light about it. It's done. And you're more so focusing on your everyday life and feeling good on your own and practicing non-reaction. Like, when you don't feel good, you're just practicing that calmness, moving slower, breathing slower, silencing those thoughts as much as possible. You're more so deprogramming your mind. I like to say deprogramming, because this is reprogramming. When you're doing affirmations, you're reprogramming. And to me, that kind of keeps you on a hamster wheel, right? So if you're going to do any type of affirmations, I always recommend doing very general affirmations, like everything is always working out for me, everything is working in my favor, I'm always provided for. I'm always protected. I'm always being guided. Like ones that are, I manifest for my highest good and the highest good of everybody in my life. Like more so like those types of ones that they hold a lot of power and they don't hold really any resistance, right? Does that make sense, McGuire? Yes, Ava said it perfectly. We need to shift focus from manifestation to making the current moment as good as we can. That's literally what it's all about. And by saying as good as we can, that means you don't have to be perfect. That's why I always say you want to feel the best you can, right? You don't have to be perfect. And you're doing that by remaining calm when you don't feel good. You're actually still on your path. That's why I always try to tell people, when you're remaining calm, you're still moving forward. Because you're still, those stories are fading. They're fading, right? It may take a couple times. They may show up a couple times because you're still learning this process. You're still learning that your thoughts keep creating it. The energy you're giving these things are keeping them active and keeping them. You're still learning as you're doing it. That's why the only thing you need to do is practice non-reaction. That's literally all. It's going to bring you so much clarity in your life. Hi, Dream. My voice sounds so much better today. What do you do? So I say that there is no dark energy. I don't say there's dark energy. I don't say there's anybody, because you have to understand, Nick, that nobody can hurt you or affect you in your reality unless you give them permission. You hold all the power in every single moment. How do we give people permission to enter our reality? We react. We get upset. We take it personally. We take things personally. We start creating a story in our minds, right? When in reality, you hold all the power. So how you take back your power in those moments is you just say, you have compassion. You have compassion for those things that don't serve you, right? If it's, let's say it's just a person or something, you just say, you know what? Not everybody's going to understand me, and that's okay. And I love them anyway. It's about loving unconditionally. It's about not wanting to change anybody, right? It's about being okay with it's feeling good no matter what. That's what it is. Feeling good no matter what's happening around you. And just being able to practice, being yourself no matter what, which is being authentic. Feeling good no matter what. That's your true nature. Does that kind of make sense? Anything less than that would you be matching those, whatever you want to call dark energies, negative situations, you be matching them, and then you just keep repeating them, right? So it's about not trying to figure anything out, not being in your head too much, not judging the situation, just saying, you know what, we're all different and that's okay, but I'm just moving forward with my best life and I'm going to stay positive and I'm just going to keep moving forward. You're not judging that person, right? You're just moving forward. You're not taking it personally. You're not creating a negative story in your mind. I'm just saying a person, but it could be anything. It could be a situation as well. Yes, 3, Ringmaster. I would say to focus on yourself, being the best version of you, and that's the best thing you can do for your kids, is by being positive around them all the time and letting them see that positivity through you, and then they learn from you. You're an example. You're an example to your children. You're an example to everyone in your life when you practice this. You're not one, Ava? How are you not one? I think it's because, Ava, I never like to ask anybody. Sometimes I have to ask people because it's overwhelming and okay, for the most part, we have the same people that we started with from the beginning of time, like Vols, I know, Nathan and all them. But over time, they do leave, right? And then I need more moderators. But I didn't even realize you weren't one. But I appreciate it, more than you realize. Did it work, Ava? I'm from Philly, Ben. People ask me if I'm from Jersey or New York. They're the two places I get. I don't always get Philly, though, which is so funny. I don't know why. Oh, thanks, Mick, for the lightning bolt. I just seen that. I'm sorry when I missed those things, guys. I don't think I pay attention to detail. I used to always say that. Like, for all the jobs that I did, it always said in the description, pays attention to detail. And I don't think I pay attention to detail. I never did. Yeah, you are. You are one. I can see the little dots. Thank you so much. Yeah, because you never know. Like, some nights are... Aw, thanks, Dream. Oh, my kitty cat. He did something. I think my dog and cat were just fighting. That's why. Hold on 1 second, guys. I was just being newsy looking outside. It's Philly. It's a Philly accent. How are you, Hayden? I almost did not jump on here tonight. I'm like, it's kind of late, but I'm still gonna jump on. I'm glad when I do. I was either gonna like do a face mask or jump on here, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna jump on here now. I'm gonna drink my tea anyway, so I might as well. Hi, Stace. My day was good, thank you. How was your day? Oh, thank you, Ava. Oh. You guys are so sweet. Hold on, let me stop my animals. That's what it is. So it's my cat. He wants to go out, but we don't let him out at night. This tea, Heather, it's literally just Lipton tea. Like, it's Lipton, and I was off Equal for a while, and it's not because of beliefs or anything. I just started using sugar because I was constantly I use a lot of Equals in my tea. I use 8 Equals in my tea. But it's just Lipton tea with sugar, that's it. So I was like tired of I felt like I was always running out of Equal. So I was like, I'm just going back to sugar because I don't have any limiting beliefs around food or any of that at all. I don't think there's anything. I have 0 limiting beliefs around food. And now I'm back to the Equal. I know. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Like, what do you care about me, sugar, and Equal? But that's my story. So now I'm back to my 8 Equals, basically. I just like the Equal because I feel like it's a little bit sweeter than sugar. His water is here on this table, and his food is on the other table because my daughter reads up on cats and she knows everything about them. So she has things a certain way for him because he's like our child. He's literally like our child. Yeah, there's Steve. He's so funny. He's funny, but he does drive me crazy because he likes to go out. So he's always meowing. I don't like Splenda. I don't like the taste of. I don't like the aftertaste of Splenda. I've tried all those sugars Splenda. What's the pink one? The pink one. That's the one my mom used to always use. The pink one. But I just I tried all those little sugars, and Equal is the one that I like the most. Yeah, it's just simple. It's Lipton. It's nothing fancy. Ava, I know. And I just being so on this quiet part of this journey, I call it a journey, whatever. It's me and my animals just hanging out. I'm always just looking at them, and they're always around me all the time. And watching how they go through life. They just flow through life, right? Like just not a care in the world. And Abraham always says we can learn so much from our animals, right? Which is so true. Sweet and low, that's the one, Ben. So user, and when people say that to me, like, so when you say you can't feel, like we're always feeling to some degree, right? I know what you're saying though. Yes, that is so true. There he is. It's like so quiet down here right now. I'm from Philly. I'm from Philly. Just seeing if I missed anything up there. That's kind of how I look at it. I figure like I'll start having, because I like to have tea at night. And I'll figure I have my tea and do my lives every night with you guys. And every day I'm like, I'm going to get on earlier. I'm going to jump on here earlier instead of being on so late. But that never happens. Thanks for the likes, guys. Oh, yeah, and I don't drink coffee. I never did. But I always say that I want to drink it just to have something different. I like liquids. Like I just like going to get a drink, or just going to, like I said, I get my strawberry refresher. Sometimes I'll go to McDonald's and I'll grab get a soda or something. And then I drink my tea. Is it, Ava? It's perfect timing for you. Oh, do you, Ray? That's cool. I think, Ava, this time actually does work for a lot of people, which is so funny. It's not super late. I mean, it's 11:30. It's not like, the old me, when I was super busy, I was in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock. I was that girl. Like I was 9:30, getting up at 5 a.m. I was on such a strict schedule. I was always I was by the book. Like everything just ran smooth in my life though. That's what I always say. Like it's not like I had this crazy chaotic life. Like I was always very organized, not organized in my closets and stuff, but organized as in I would get up. My life always ran very smooth, right? But it was very repetitive. It was very repetitive. I was stuck in a program without a doubt. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And then being back in work was like, what is happening here? Wait a minute, this isn't right. These long hours, coming home, being a mom. That's why I tell people, when people ask me about my story, that's exactly what it came down to. I always was asking questions though. I always felt like there was more to life, and it seemed like this doesn't seem like, is this really it? Is this all life is? So I was always asking those kind of questions. Yes, Groundhog Day without a doubt, right? It was very repetitive. I felt like I was in prison. And let me just tell you guys, I worked with the greatest people. I loved everybody I worked with. I had such a happy environment. We were positive. We were fun together. I always had control to a degree, with things where I worked. I always had nobody bossed me around. I wasn't treated bad, but yet I would be in that place and felt like I was in prison, right? Isn't that crazy? I just was like, there has to be more to life than this. So I think I can relate to people when they tell me that the best word to explain it was stuck. I felt stuck, right? And when I started learning about this information, it started all, like I always say, I started attracting all this information. I was so excited. I was like, I felt so free just listening to it. So Ed, it all comes down to how do you feel about that? You have to ask your, like I would say, personally, I would say no if you're going to reach out, because what if I were to say, what if you were to reach out and you didn't get anything back? How would that make you feel? If you were unbothered by it and you didn't care, then I'd say good. But you have to really be truthfully honest with yourself, right? Why do you even want to reach out? Why do you feel the need to reach out? Or is it a lack thing? Like, I need to see what's going on. I need to, see where we're at. I need to see, right? Like, I would say just keep focusing on yourself. But you kind of answered that yourself in the end by saying you think not, right? And I agree. Just keep working on you as much as you can, focusing on yourself. Let it just be a very natural process. Do I have time to waste the way I want? Yes, I have like a lot of freedom in my life right now. Yes, without a doubt. If that's what you meant. I don't know if that's what you meant, but I have definitely gotten to a good place. Is that a health drink? It's absolutely not a health drink. Thanks, Mick. But I think I am going to jump off, guys. It's getting a little late for me here. Aw, Mick, thank you. Thank you, guys. And get ready for bed. And again, of course, I'll be back on tomorrow as usual. I always wonder if Hi, Vishni. I always wonder if I should start... Yes. Have you got time? If I should start maybe doing some of these during the day. I don't know what time I would actually do it, but it would probably be a totally different crowd, I would think. Oh, I love that loop. I love that. Hi, Mariana. Aw. Of course. That's because you got little ones. I love seeing all you from familiar faces on here. I love that loop. The ones that I've been posting most recently, I think, are just extremely powerful. Like the releasing resistance ones, they're really good. They're really good. So if anybody's struggling, listen to the releasing resistance ones. I have them on YouTube too. So you can and they're short. I like short things because you can listen to them on a loop if you have YouTube by, you can actually click on that and it'll say loop. So you can just keep listening to it over and over again. With TikTok, if you close your phone off, they go away. But with YouTube, it would stay on. So that's really helpful for those types of videos. And the Facebook posts. And guys, I've been posting, and I should be talking about it more. I've been posting little mini meditations. I know they're not everybody's favorite because a lot of people just don't have any time for meditation. They think they can't do it. They think it doesn't work. It works, and it's so beneficial when you're practicing non-reaction, when you're deprogramming the mind. Because when you're practicing meditation, you're quieting your thoughts. You're automatically raising your energy, right? It's so helpful. So I'm posting little clips on TikTok, and I'm going to put them over to YouTube as well as short videos. So take time throughout your day, even if it's just a minute or 2 or 3, and just do those little meditations where you're just, you're literally just quieting your thoughts for a little bit throughout the day before you go to bed, when you wake up. Even if you can just do it for 3 minutes, a day. Like we can take 3 minutes a day to quiet our thoughts, right? And we always feel like we can't. We always feel like we're too busy. But even just a minute and work your way up. That's what I used to tell people. I used to do 7-minute meditations back in the day. When I would do this in my other Facebook group that I had, like I probably had 7 people. And I would do 7-minute meditations. But anyway, people jumped on them. And we would do them. And it was like literally just 7 minutes of meditation where it was breath work for a minute or two, and then we would quiet our minds for a minute or two, and we would go back and forth and rotate that. Geez, that just all popped in my head just now that we used to do that, and it's really powerful. So it would be breath work for a couple minutes, and then we would go into a meditation for a couple minutes, or maybe it was we would just do straight breath work, and then for the last couple minutes we would quiet our minds. That's what we used to do. So try quieting your mind throughout the day. You can use my TikTok things as a help, because it's just you staring at something, like staring at a spinning. Because if you ever do that, stare at something that spins, you get hypnotized by it. That's meditating. That's you just like getting out of your thinking mind. So practice that. Practice that. It's really helpful, guys. Manchester Orchestra. Yeah, I love that. Is that Christmas, Mick? Check in my link and you can find my YouTube channel, Mystery. And you can also find our private Facebook group on there as well. And I feel like it's good. Someone said you should start a separate Instagram. And I think I should, because sometimes TikTok doesn't push your content out. That's why I'm trying to also post it on YouTube. And if it's something really good, I try to post it on my private Facebook group as well. Because sometimes things don't get pushed out and people don't even get to see them. So that's why I'm trying to I should really start putting myself out there on other things. But I have 2 Instagrams. I don't use them. I think I should start a brand new one. That someone suggested that, and I think that's a good idea. All right, I think I'm going to jump off, guys. Night owls, that's a good one, Mystery. I personally love fan noises. They're my favorite. Air condition, fan noise. I like rain sounds too, but I tend to always go back to the fan and the air conditioner. It takes me back as a kid. I used to love when the air conditioner unit was in my window and I was little, and I would sit there and I'd be like playing with like Barbies or something, and it was dark, and air conditioning reminds me of a kid. So like I love that sound. Okay. I'm going to get off. Guys, everybody have a really good night. I'll be back tomorrow, and that's it. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys. Love you guys. Thanks for moderating for me, and thanks for suggesting to help Ava. I love that. Like I said, I don't like to ask you guys because some people don't really want to be bothered, but I appreciate it. Good night, guys. Thanks again. Thanks for the likes.